How do you choose the correct load? So when you open the program, you will see that each movement has a prescribed rep range when we're doing a strength movement. So if the movement says 6 to 8 reps, our goal is to get as close to mechanical failure as possible. So this means trying to get as close to failure without your form completely breaking down within that rep range. So if the rep range says 8 to 12 reps, your goal is to find a load that is challenging for 8 to 9 reps the first time that you do it. And then over the weeks of the program, the goal is to try and progress. So maybe the next week you're able to complete a 9th rep if you only did 8 the week before. And it's possible that by the end of the month, you're able to increase all the way to 12. Once you get to that 12, because that was the prescribed weight range, then you would increase to the next weight and attempt to get 8 with that next weight. This is what we call progressive overload. Now, sometimes we're not able to progress with reps or with load because we might not be strong enough to do that yet, or because we're trying to still perfect the movement. So some of the other ways that we can measure progress are that the quality has improved, or that the movement range of motion has improved. So for example, you may be doing a lunge and struggle to get your knee to the floor the first week. And so over several weeks, you may not be increasing load or reps, but each week you may get better at performing the movement correctly and with a full range of motion. Once you've mastered range of motion with body weight, then you can add load. And so then we can celebrate that we have made progress and we're still progressively overloading, but the progression is then with quality. So range of motion means the range, the distance that's being traveled in the movement. So for example, it may be that your squat becomes deeper than when you started. Then, of course, progression can be load, so meaning you did a heavier weight, or it can be with reps. So I did more repetitions each set, or it could be sets. So when you read the program, if it says 3 by 8, it would be 3 sets, 8 reps. Now, if I did 3 sets, 9 reps, I've increased reps total in the workout. Or if I did 4 sets of 8 reps, I've also increased the total amount of load that I've done. So each week we're just looking at some form of progression. We can also play with different versions of increasing the range of motion. We can increase the time it takes us to perform something, so adding a tempo. These are just other ways that we can add challenge without it necessarily being load. So remember, if the rep scheme says 8 to 12 reps or 6 to 8 reps, that is just a guide. You're aiming for a load that is hard at the low end of that range. And the goal is to try and progress that to the high end of that rep range. Once you hit the high number, that's your cue to increase the load.